Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about Donald Trump's long-awaited response to what's clearly galling him to no end, which is that Jack Smith and the DOJ continue to comply with the deadline set by Judge Tanya Chutkan in the January 6th case, even as discovery is now on hold. So we've known something like this was coming. Recall that Judge Chutkan, because of the immunity litigation that's going on and is now proceeded to the Court of Appeals, where argument will be had next Tuesday, said, I've got to stay everything. We can't go forward. The DOJ took a shot at saying, why don't you just keep going with the pretrial stuff, but not set a trial date? Judge Chutkan said, no, I don't have jurisdiction, and so everything is stayed, okay? But then the DOJ, to the obvious great frustration of Trump, has continued to comply with the deadlines. And they've said, we're going to keep doing it. It'll make it a little bit easier if and when, hopefully when and soon, the case recommences. And there's nothing against it. I mean, people will often submit their papers in advance, say, and that doesn't mean the court will look at them. But, that's what I noted at the time. It's kind of cheeky. It's, as I said, outside the Marquis of Queensberry rules, in particular because, as the DOJ well knows, when they file something, even if Chutkan sets it to the side and doesn't read it, the reporters do, I do, and people talk about it on TV. And so their legal arguments are unanswered because Trump doesn't want to answer back because he wants to keep things stayed. They're continuing to do it. So now Trump comes in with a very bellicose motion that they should be held in contempt. And it's a long motion. It goes back and forth with all kinds of complaints. But the underlying point that is implied but not really demonstrated is that the prosecution is somehow out of compliance with or violating pending orders. And that's the question, isn't it? I mean, what exactly is wrong with continuing to submit them? We know sort of what's wrong, but we also, Judge Chutkan could easily say, a party can submit papers whenever it wants. It doesn't mean I'll read them. So the first point is, don't expect Judge Chutkan to accept Trump's offer to force the prosecutors to show cause why they shouldn't be held in contempt. And he asked for monetary sanctions. And, maybe if it were Judge Cannon down in Mar-a-Lago, you could conceive of her taking this sort of stance. But really, the DOJ, they didn't get the green light, but they didn't get the red light from Judge Chutkan. They told her this is what we're going to do. They've done it. They've told other courts this is what we're doing, and they've done it. And they have, a reason to do it, to try to, minimize delay when things return. Although it's, as I say, it's a pretty insubstantial reason, and their conduct is certainly galling Trump. So wouldn't expect that to happen. It's possible that Chutkan will say, okay, DOJ, Trump's all upset and I won't hold you in contempt, but don't do this anymore. And DOJ will just salute and say, fine, they'll have done what they've done and, leave it at that. And it's possible Chutkan says to Trump, I can't prevent them from filing things. They're not in violation of any order. If you want to respond, go ahead, which would be, in some ways even worse, because his subsequent failure to respond would be taken as, being a bit recalcitrant on his part. So the DOJ has him in a kind of a cute little box here. But his whole motion is, designed as it might be for a situation in which a party is plainly violating something that the court has ordered. say a gag order, for example, and that does set up a potential motion for contempt, and it just goes through this again and again, and throws in some stray grievances, on the side, and is in high dudgeon, as the court sometimes put it. But it's just not clear that there's anything wrong the department has done, and if there is, Chutkan will tell them now, and that'll change the practice going forward. So we have his, it's been what, several weeks that this has been going on, and we've been, knowing that steam's coming out of Trump's ears about it, but not clear what exactly he would do. Now we have the response. Chutkan will do something with it, I think, even though she doesn't have the case. She's kept a hold of some parts of it, and this would count. And she can decide whether to tell the U.S. to stand down, or say, that's up to them, and you can do it too. I don't see other options besides that. And so the real, outrage is for as is often the case, for the press, but not really for the court. Nevertheless, maybe he'll get what he wants if the court tells the U.S., let's stop this for now until the case returns to me. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.